Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. Somebody left a comment on my last video, which was about what was it about? Do you know, I cannot remember what my last video was about. Oh yes, I can. It was about bags. Yes, bags, best bags for life and best bags for bike packing. And if you can't find it, it was the last video that I did. Anyway, somebody left a comment about another YouTuber, and I think it's a bit mean to talk to a YouTuber about another YouTuber. Anyway, and talking to me about and said, "Have you seen this YouTuber's new YouTube video?" And I made a rather catty, I thought, rather catty comment about, oh, has she or has he got a new sponsor? As if that was the only reason why some YouTubers would post a video as if. And then it struck me that I've never actually gone through with you in a spirit of openness and transparency about my sponsors on my channel. And as many of you know, at the weekend, I managed to achieve the heady heights of 5,000 subscribers. So you want to know, who are the people? Yes, who are the people? Who are the companies and the businesses and the organizations that are supporting this channel? Well, let me start with this one, and this one is a little item from cleaningcloths.com, www.cleaningcloths.com, and they are a company that started producing cleaning cloths, and they reached out to me and they said, "We'd like to send you one of our cleaning cloths if you could mention us every time you do a cleaning cloth video." So I said, okay, cleaningcloths.com. Every time I do a video that includes something about cleaningcloths.com, then I will mention the name of your company, which is cleaningcloths.com. And as a consequence, they're going to send me, the nice people at cleaningcloths.com are going to send me lots of cleaning cloths. Now, the second item is something that I find very useful in terms of cleaning and degreasing my bike, and that is this stuff, which is called gunk. Yes, gunk, or engine degreasant, as it's called, which I purchased from Halfords, which is a bicycle and motor parts store in the United Kingdom, and they reached out to me, the people at Gunk, and they said, we'd like to send you some gunk because you use so much of it, and every time you do a cleaning video about cleaning your bike, could you mention the name Gunk? So I said, okay, Gunk people, how much will we pay you? How much are you going to pay me? And they said, well, we're not going to pay you anything, but we'll give you a free tin of gunk. So there you are, Gunk Meisters. This is the stuff you need. Now then, some of the other companies were watching my videos, and they saw that I did videos about how to clean your bike, and one of the things that's quite useful in cleaning your bike is water, as you know. So the nice people at Thames Water reached out to me, and they said, when you use water to clean your bike, could you please use our water? And I said, well, I'll think about it. You know, what's it worth? You know, Bunsen? What's the Bunsen? And they said, well, I mean, we're not going to pay you. But I tell you what we'll do. When you turn on your tap to get the water, we'll let you have the water. How's that? I thought, talk about a good deal! Wow. Thames Water sponsoring me with water for my videos, and all I have to do is pay them. I think it's about 80 quid a month or something like that. It's a lot of money anyway. Water is not cheap, guys. Water is not cheap. And then, what do you use to clean your bike apart from water? Well, you might use washing up liquid. And you might also use washing up liquid when you seat a tubeless tyre on your rim. If you've ever tried to do this, one of the ways, once you seat it on the rim, to then make sure there aren't any gaps or little spaces where the air can leak, is just get a little bit of washing up liquid on your finger and just run that round the rim by the tyre, and that is actually very good at sealing leaks. And this was a trick or a dodge that I learnt from somebody's video on YouTube. Can't remember who it was. Might have been GCN, might have been somebody else. So anyway, the good people at Fairy Liquid, yes, fairyliquid.com, reached out to me and they said, we'd like to send you some Fairy Liquid. So every time you do one of your tubeless tyres fixings and you do a video about it, use a little bit of Fairy Liquid, washing up liquid, and mention the name of the company, Fairy Liquid, and that would be great. And I said, yeah, okay, I don't mind doing that. But I said, I don't use that many tubeless tyres. And if I just get a little bit of washing up liquid and run it around the rim, if I do what, let's say I do 5 tubeless tyres a year, and if I do that many, that's quite an exaggeration, then a bottle of Fairy Liquid is going to last me for about 9 years, because they were actually kind enough to send me 2 bottles. So I said, would it be all right if I used the Fairy Liquid to clean my bike, or even to clean my dishes, or give to my wife to clean the dishes, obviously. And they said no. And I said, well, what do you mean no? And they said, well, we're sponsoring you to use our washing up liquid on your tubeless tyre rims. We're not sponsoring you to use washing up liquid for your dishes. You can find another sponsor for that, which I thought was a bit short-sighted, really, because if you think of the number of dishwashing videos that I might make, or even bike cleaning videos that I might make, because there aren't many of them on YouTube that I've noticed, so I was thinking of doing one, and I'd use a bit of Fairy Liquid washing up liquid, but they said, no, if you do that, you're going to be in deep trouble. So I had no choice. I had no choice. Then, occasionally, not often, I ride outside. And when I ride outside, I obviously ride through the air. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the air that I ride through is not the same as the air that you ride through, obviously, because if you're in the United States, you're going to ride through American air. If you're in Germany, you're going to ride through German air. If you're going to ride through Scotland, you're going to ride through British air, and so on and so forth. So you're not riding through the same air. So this company reached out to me and they said, when you ride through our air, we'd like you to mention the name. And I said, what do you mean your air? You can't own the air. And they said, do you remember back in the day there was a company that sold building plots on the moon? And I said, do I remember? I bought one. I bought one. So when they start, building the apartment blocks, mate, if you build it on my land, I'm going to make a few bob. So they say, anyway, we're the same people who did that, and we've bought some of the air near where you live in Kent, and when you ride through it, we'd like you to mention the name of it. So I said, what is the name of it? And they said, well, we really like your T-shirts and your slogan, Nobody Cares. So our company is called Nobody Cares, but they've spelt it, and this is the clever thing, right? They've spelt it C-A-R-S. Do you see what they've done there? Nobody cares, but it's C-S. Do you see that? So every time I go out riding now in Kent and I ride through their particular section of air, and I do a video about it, as I do, I'm going to mention Nobody Cares Air. Okay, do you get that? And if you reach out to them, nobodycares.com, you might find that they've got some air near you that you can also use. So that strikes me as a really good thing. Now the next thing, and I don't know where I put it here. I put it here. Oh, here it is. When I've done some unpackaging, and you often get in there a little packet of this stuff, which is called silica gel. And because I've mentioned silica gel a couple of times in my videos, the silica gel people, www.silicagel.com, reached out to me and they said, look, it's our silica gel that you're using, and because so many people watch your videos, we like you every time you do one of those unboxings, and you do, your silly little joke about silica gel, don't give it to your grandparents or your children to eat, etc., etc. When you do that joke, could you mention www.silicagel.com, because then people will come to our website and they want to buy their own silica gel, and they'll know that it comes from silicagel.com. So I said, well, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that. Then As you know, many of you will know, I'm a big fan of gravel riding, and there's lots of gravel routes in Kent now that I go out and I ride along, and you can see my routes on Strava and you can copy them. So I was contacted by a company. There's a lot of companies been reaching out to me lately. They obviously got nothing better to do. I was reached out to by a company who are called Kent Gravel, right? KentGravel.com. And they said, that's our gravel that you're riding on. I said, what do you mean it's your gravel? And they said, well, we put it there. We created the gravel routes for the gravel cyclists, and it's our gravel. It's Kent Gravel. So we'd like you, when you ride on Kent Gravel, we'd like you to mention in your video that it is Kent Gravel that you're riding on. It's not Surrey Gravel, it's not Sussex Gravel, it's not Norfolk Gravel, it's not Essex Gravel. There are other counties in the United Kingdom. But when you're riding on Kent Gravel, okay, could you mention KentGravel.com? So if you are in other parts of the world, you're in, I don't know, Canada, Venezuela, Hong Kong, Germany, and you'd like to have some of that Kent gravel for your routes because you're not happy with the quality of your own gravel, then if you contact www.kentgravel.com, you can buy a few hundredweight of Kent gravel. It's not cheap, has to be shipped over. It takes about 3 years by container ship, but once you've got it, you lay it down and you've got one of the best gravel routes in the world. Now, the last thing, I don't often ride in the rain, as you know, because I don't really like it, being of a certain age, and I just can't be asked. Why would you do it? Why would you want to go out in the rain and get yourself wet? Anyway, I was contacted by this company, which is called Reign of Thrones, which I thought was a rather clever name there. There's a bit of a pun on a science fiction program. Anyway, reignofthrones.com contacted me and they said, look, we are the rainmakers. We do the rain. And I said, what are you talking about? Rain, it comes from God, doesn't it? It comes from nature. David Attenborough, he's in charge of the rain. They said, no, the rain now is zoned, okay? And we've bought half a dozen of the rain zones that cover your house around Kent. And I actually looked them up on the internet. I googled it, reignofthrones.com, and it is actually true. They have bought the rain clouds. So when it rains, it's their rain. So they said, look, we want you to start to publicize this because people, the people like our rain. It's kind of warm, it's kind of fluffy, it's got a friendly feeling. It's woke. It's woke rain. Okay, we like woke rain. It's enveloping. It's nice. It's friendly. So I said, okay, all right. I was a little bit skeptical, but they offered me quite a lot of money, which I found quite useful because there's camera equipment and lights and all kinds of stuff, t-shirts that need to be bought. So I said, okay, reignofthrones.com, I will do that, and I will mention your reignofthrones.com every time I go out on my bike in the rain, which frankly is not very often. But what can you do? Take the money and run. So I did. And the final sponsor. This was actually me. I reached out to myself. I said, I sent myself an email, Dear Julian, and I received this email because obviously I'm Julian. I had an email that was sent, Dear Julian. It was signed Julian. I thought, hang on a minute, who's that email from? And then I thought, wait, no, I sent that email. I sent that email to myself because I said, look, I'd like to sponsor you. And I said, well, who are you? And he said, I know you know who I am. I'm Julian. So there's a kind of split personality thing going on here, and I got all rather confused. But anyway, this particular Julian said, right, that he had written a book which was available on Amazon. It was called Tour de Fiction, and it was a collection of short stories. And I said, oh, you've been pushing that book for years. Nobody's read it. They think it's rubbish. And Julian said, no, there's a really good story in there. It's called Only Connect. It's a wonderfully original title for a wonderful original story. So they said, look, at www.tourdefiction.com, they said, Julian, mention that book every time you do one of our videos and we will send you 0.00001p in royalties, which is what Amazon provides me when I sell one of my books. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So those are my current sponsors. If you run a business and you would like to get some gratuitous, pointless publicity, and if you want somebody like me, right, to make a video which is dull in all other respects, but at least mentions the name of your company, reignofthrones.com, Thames Water, Fairy Liquid, cleaningcloths.com, etc., etc., not forgetting. Nobody cares. Then reach out. You see my email address. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Sponsor yourself. That's it. Isn't that ASOS slogan? Yeah. Sponsor yourself. I'm sponsoring myself, ASOS. You know where I am.